Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. No, meth head Andrew Gillum, you're not getting off that easy. What a friggin' bullet was dodged in the 2018 election in the state of Florida between Andrew Gillum and Ron DeSantis. A race between the man who became America's governor and an actual corrupt, drug-addicted criminal in Andrew Gillum. The stakes literally could not be higher. You know when they say elections have consequences, this is what they mean, as we constantly see the clear consequences of electing corrupt career criminal Democrats. It's just unfortunate those consequences couldn't have been avoided when it comes to the presidential race. But this guy Andrew Gillum was really something else, and he's currently attempting to use his Democrat privilege to hopefully evade justice. If you guys aren't aware, but Andrew Gillum is currently facing charges of wire fraud, misuse of campaign funds, as well as federal conspiracy and other charges, and he's attempting to pull a little Juicy Smollett here to try to use his connections to wiggle out of it, and the judge just responded very firmly with, "No way, Jose, Andrew Gillum is going to court." Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. Then let's just talk about the bullet that was clearly dodged, and of course the implications moving forward as Florida continues to grow and be a bastion of freedom. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, take a look at this headline right over here. Federal judge refuses to dismiss criminal charges against 2018 Florida Democrat gubernatorial nominee. A federal judge has rejected a request from 2018 Florida Democrat Andrew Gillum after lawyers for the accused claim that he was selectively targeted. The former mayor of Tallahassee says he believes the only reason that he was prosecuted is that he's black. Holy moly. I swear it seems to be the only defense that we see these days. Leftoids seem to have nothing else in their arsenal. As noted by the Associated Press, earlier this year, Gillum and a colleague were indicted on federal conspiracy, wire fraud, and other charges that include lying to FBI agents. Federal prosecutors claim that Gillum funneled campaign conditions through third parties back to himself for his own personal use. According to prosecutors, Gillum met with undercover FBI agents posing as developers while he was mayor of Tallahassee during his campaign for governor, the AP noted. His associates sought donations from agents and suggested ways to provide money without listing them as political contributions, including paying for a fundraiser dinner according to the indictment. Gillum has pleaded not guilty to the charges, claiming they were politically motivated as he ran against then GOP gubernatorial nominee Ron DeSantis. Yes, of course, Andrew Gillum did nothing wrong. He just literally committed fraud and even got caught in the act trying to involve undercover federal agents into his scheme while he was running for governor and explicitly explaining the scheme to them, telling them how they were essentially gonna funnel money through his campaign. But of course, he didn't do anything wrong. No, of course not. The only reason he's being charged is because he's black. And if you don't believe that, well, then it's politically motivated because he's the Democrat who ran against Ron DeSantis. Absolutely ridiculous. But of course, last week, U.S. District Judge Alan Windsor called Gillum's claim that his ethnicity led to his prosecution meritless. Gillum had asked that the charges be dismissed because prosecutors delayed filing them, and he was being prosecuted because of his race and politics. The judge, who was appointed by former President Donald Trump, said Gillum had offered nothing to support the claim of selective prosecution because of his race or politics, the AP reported. This is yet again another story of Democrat MO, not only in using the race card, but just the whole damn thing, the racial grift tied in with the political fundraising scam. It's basically a microcosm of the whole Black Lives Matter movement, viewing activist donations or political donations as your own little personal piggy bank. Actually, there's a more recent and relevant example, the whole FTX US thing, the Sam Bankman-Fried story. All you gotta do is be a Democrat, pretend that you're a champion of left-wing causes, and the money comes rolling in, and then you just stuff it in your pocket and walk away. Hopefully get elected so you can cover your tracks, but in this case, didn't exactly work. But it's the Democrat gift that almost always ends in scam. Give us money, insert left-wing cause here, but it's almost always a manipulative sociopath, manipulating people's emotions, taking advantage of gullible individuals to enrich themselves. Andrew Gillum is not getting out of this one, especially not with a Trump-appointed judge in the state of Florida. You know, a place that actually enforces the law. There's no Kim Foxx prosecutor to give you a little slap on the wrist. You're done. And it really starts to make you question, where's all the money going with all of these high-profile activist Democrats? You know, here's a story that's been bouncing around all week, which has me very curious as I'm thinking about Andrew Gillum. Scoop: Stacey Abrams' campaign is in debt after blowout loss. After raising more than $100 million in her second bid to be Georgia governor, the Stacey Abrams campaign owes more than $1 million in debt to vendors. Why it matters: Abrams has been heralded for her fundraising prowess and had brought in donations at a presidential level earlier in the year, but money became so tight that most of the 180 full-time staffers were given an abrupt paycheck cutoff date just a week after the November election. People have told me that they have no idea how they're going to pay their rent in January. One former staffer told Axios, "It was more than unfortunate, it was messed up. $100 million, seemingly down the drain. Except it's really $101 million. Stacey Abrams' campaign is now $1 million in debt. Where's all this money going?" Of course, this is pure wild speculation, but I think it's honest curiosity. You always have these same Democrat figures, high-profile individuals who claim to be the most left-wing, championing the most far-left of activist causes, who fundraise more than anyone else, and then the money just disappears. Either it's another typical Democrat scam, where Georgia voters dodged a damn bullet just like Florida voters did in not electing Andrew Gillum. I mean, seriously, think about it. Imagine it. Imagine having such incredible fundraising prowess, fundraising $100 million and going broke in a year, in debt, $1 million in debt to vendors. Do you really want that person running your state budget? I don't think so. If you ask me, it's very simple. Anytime a Democrat loses an election, it's a dodged bullet. And Ron DeSantis is the living proof of exactly that, as the beautiful great state of Florida is booming. Ever since he took over, not only has it become a Republican stronghold, with Ron DeSantis winning the last election by 20 points, but giant finance firms and tech firms are one by one moving to Miami. It's becoming the fastest growing metropolitan area in the country, and we're just getting the 2022 census data showing Florida was the fastest growing state this year with historic population gains. Florida's population increased by 1.9% to 22,244,823 residents between 2021 and 2022, surpassing Idaho, the previous year's fastest growing state, the Bureau said. For the third most populous state to also be the fastest growing is notable because it requires significant population gains. Earlier this year, a report found that more than 600,000 people fled New York and California for lower tax states during the pandemic. And on the flip side, we're also learning that 300,000 people moved out of California from 2021 to 2022, the most of any state. Proof is in the pudding, folks. Anytime a Democrat loses an election, a bullet is dodged. It's hard to say on the national electoral map what the implications are here, because it almost seems as though Republicans from all kinds of other states are just leaving and moving to Texas and Florida and other states like that, and it might be weakening the GOP in terms of the electoral college landscape or during midterm elections, as less Republicans exist in purple and blue states and they're all just basically moving to Republican strongholds. But at the end of the day, hopefully it's a shining beacon at the top of the hill, a roadmap for why you shouldn't elect people like Andrew Gillum, and you should vote for common sense politicians like Ron DeSantis. Hopefully it has a positive impact. Hopefully people can wake up and smell the damn coffee. That, however, my friends, only time will tell. That's also what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm out of here, and of course, hopefully, I'll see you on the next one.